Not all houses have walls. Some are made of bark and roots, and some shelter things that were never human to begin with. This is the story of a man who cut down an ancient tree and awakened every spirit that once slept inside it. Amjad was a woodcutter, strong, solitary, and proud of his skills. He lived near the edge of a forgotten forest, a place locals never entered after dark. They called it the Forest of Spirits, but Amjad didn't care for superstitions. So when he was offered a good price to clear a patch of land for new development, he agreed without a second thought. At the heart of a land stood a massive ancient tree, so tall it looked like it touched the sky. Its bark was black, its branches twisted like clawed fingers. Even the birds avoided it. Villagers warned him. They said, "That's not just a tree, that's a house for the ones who walk without feet." But Amjad laughed. "It's just wood." And early the next morning, axe in hand, he approached the tree. As he lifted his axe for the first swing, the air shifted. The forest went silent. Even the wind stopped. He hesitated, just for a second. Then he struck. The moment the axe hit the bark, blood poured out. Not sap, thick red human blood. He stepped back, shocked, and then the screaming started. Not from any mouth, but from inside the tree. Whispers, cries, shrieks, thousands of them. The roots writhed beneath the soil like living snakes, and a foul stench rose, like burnt flesh and decay. Still he finished the job. By sunset, the tree lay dead, its trunk splintered, its root torn. Amjad returned home that night, proud and pained. But he didn't sleep, because something followed him back. The first night, he heard scratching at his windows, even though he lived on the third floor. The second night, he found muddy footprints in his kitchen, small, childlike, but barefoot, and they started from inside the fridge. By the third night, he began to see them, figures, transparent, some with no eyes, some hanging from invisible ropes, and one, a woman, floating upside down, her long hair crawling across the ceiling. Every night, one of them whispered, "You stole our roof, so now we live in yours." His house changed. Walls began to bleed sap. His bed moved by itself, and the mirror no longer reflected his face. Instead, it showed the tree whole again, with Amjad hanging from its branches, eyes gouged out, mouth sewn shut. He tried to move out, but wherever he went, the ghosts followed. Even during the day, he saw shadows in reflections. One day, his neighbor found him digging a hole in the center of his living room, mumbling, "I have to replant them. Maybe then they will leave." But the tree was gone, burned by the developers. There was nowhere for the spirits to go, so they stayed with him, feeding off his fear, turning his home into their nest. Amjad eventually vanished. His house was left empty for years, until a new family moved in. They didn't know the history until one morning their daughter pointed to the corner of the living room and said, There is a tree growing there and a man hanging from it. They laughed nervously, but within a week, roots started cracking the floor. The air grew thicker with whispers, and they began to understand some trees should never be cut because they don't die, they move and they remember.